Hello, everyone. Welcome back to RPA and Intelligent Automation Live. Our next session will be about cloud computing for data analytics applications. The receipt of some of them, and then at the very end, when we have time for Q&A, I will be probing some of those questions and relaying them back to Dr. Ash. So without further ado, let me introduce our distinguished speaker for this segment, Dr. Ash Pahwa, an educator, author, entrepreneur, and technology visionary with 3 decades of industry and academic experience. He has founded several successful technology companies during his career. Dr. Pahwa teaches courses at the California Institute of Technology, Caltech, Pasadena, and the University of California System, which includes UCLA, UC San Diego, and UC Irvine. Dr. Pahwa, it's a real pleasure and privilege to have you here with us today, and we really look forward to your presentation.
Great. Thank you very much, Jose. Let me start my presentation now. All right, so I hope everybody can see my presentation at this time. So here, I will be basically talking about the cloud computing in the data analytics application. I've been hearing the other presentation by other speakers as well. So they were talking about robotics. The question really comes up is that where are you going to build these applications for robotics or for data analytics? So the answer for all of this thing is that we do these things on cloud computing. So my presentation for the next almost 30 to 35 minutes will be based on what is cloud computing and what we can do about it. So here is my very brief bio. As already Jose has already mentioned to me that I'm currently teaching at Caltech. Besides that thing, I have also been an entrepreneur. So now let us move to, and these are my courses at Caltech if you need to get some information about it. So now this is the outline of my talk. First of all, I'm going to talk about the power of data analytics. It means how important data analytics have become. And then I'll talk about the cloud computing and the tools that are being used for the data analytics. And then I will also discuss the Google Cloud Platform. There are a lot of applications that have already been pre-built on the GCP. GCP stands for the Google Cloud Platform. So I'm just going to show you 2 applications which are sitting there. One is on the vision side, and other one is on the speech to text application. Okay, so now let us look into, first of all, the power of data analytics. So I'm sure everybody must have experienced this COVID-19 pandemic, which is going on from the last 3-4 months, and that has literally changed our life. And one of the things that comes out from this pandemic is that how important it is to analyze the data. So let me show you a few things. I'm bringing my pen out right now. So the importance of data analytics, and this thing is very, very important. And that's what basically we're going to talk about, the power of data analytics. So here, of course, if you go to any hospital, any pharmaceutical company, any treatments or any vaccines which are coming out, they're all dependent upon big data. So data is the most important thing. And for the last 3 months, I've really appreciated data analytics quite a lot. And this data is, of course, is being shared at the federal level or at the state level. No matter where it is, or even at the city level, they are using all kind of a data. I'm sure everybody must have seen this kind of a charts these days, which are appearing like this one, how the total number of cases went up, and then hopefully these things are coming down. All newspapers and all websites are displaying this kind of a data. So all this data is being done using data analytics. So data analytics has become really a part of our life. So another major application, of course, for data analytics is Amazon. And so here, of course, as you know, that the price of the Amazon stock is kind of going up and up and up. Every day it kind of gains some or kind of goes up a little bit. And why this thing is happening? Why Amazon has become such a successful company? Because of data analytics. Because they analyze the data, they basically predict what the user wants, and they give them what the user really wants, and ship them out those products. So it has become very successful, and because of this also, as you know, Mr. Jeff Bezos, who owns this company, almost become the richest man in the whole world. His worth, as you know, has crossed more than 100 billion at this time. So these are just some applications of data analytics. Another major application of data analytics, of course, is autonomous cars, cars that are driving all by themselves. We face a very sad statistic that a person dies every 23 seconds. It's so sad, but that is true. Hopefully, if we use autonomous cars, we can solve this problem. So this problem of autonomous cars can be solved using the vision AI for vision, artificial intelligence for vision, and this thing is all a part of data analytics. So now we have seen three major applications. First of all, we saw the COVID-19 data. Then we saw Amazon, and now that we are also looking into autonomous cars. All of these applications are actually are the data analytics applications. So the question really is that where can we build these models that can do these kind of a fantastic things that we are seeing in our real life. So now I just want to show you something very interesting that very likely this is the way we are going to drive. So that is your future car. This car may come about maybe after 10 years or 15 years, which I don't know, but somewhere around there. So the car would be that you just punch in your GPS coordinates of your destination, and the car is just going to take you there. So this is the way the thing is happening. So now there are many different levels to these cars. Currently, we are at level 3. We will have some kind of autonomous features in our cars, but the future is basically this, which you are looking at it over here. So this is the way the future is, and all these things are happening because of data analytics. Because we are basically trying to use data and see how we can make use of these things. So again, now coming back to what is data analytics? So now coming back to the second step here, what is data analytics? So data analytics has a different name. Some people call this thing as data mining, predictive analytics, or machine learning. And these days, another word is coming around, which is called deep learning. These are all part of data analytics. And those are the applications that we just saw before can be derived from these three things. So there are many different modeling methods out there. So now I'm going to get into the technology part of it. So there are total 11 modeling methods, and so these modeling methods are, of course, regression, logistic regression, discriminant analysis, k-nearest neighbor, decision and regression trees, naive Bayes, neural network, clustering, principal component analysis, support vector machine, and ARIMA. So our focus is going to be primarily on the neural network. These things have become very popular these days, and deep learning basically uses these neural networks. There are other modeling methods as well, but our focus remains to be on the neural networks. And these applications also for the vision that we just saw just a few minutes back for autonomous cars can be achieved on the neural networks. And to build these models, of course, we have to go to the cloud. So that's what the focus is, that where can we build these these kind of models. So now let us also look into what is artificial intelligence and also what is machine learning. Artificial intelligence is a much bigger area. Machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence, and deep learning, which is becoming very popular these days, deep learning is also becoming a part of machine learning. Now my focus would be that how we can use cloud to basically build my deep learning models. And deep learning models are the ones that are being used for the vision that machine can able to identify all the objects which are in an image, and based on that only it can drive the car. Once the car knows that what are the objects right next to it, where is the pedestrian and where is the cars coming in, and what is the traffic light, and all these things can be recognized by the car, so the car can drive all by itself. So now let us come to cloud computing, which is the focus of my talk. So what is cloud computing? So now I'm going to basically cover in more detail what is cloud computing, and who are the vendors in this industry. So let's try to understand what the cloud computing is. So a very brief history of cloud computing. From 1970 onwards, as you recall that thing, most of the big businesses used to have a huge computers. In 1960s and 70s, most of the big business used to have IBM 360 and 370, a kind of mainframe computers. Then after that, many new type of mainframe computers came about, and that is what being used in most of the industry. And so the problems when this approach was that the business has to spend a lot of capital, because these machines were not cheap. They used to cost around $5 to $10 million each. So there was a lot of capital investment. And also, now suppose if your load increases, there are more number of people who wants to do business with you, then you cannot change the configuration. It is inflexible. And also, there used to be, when I recall that thing when I got my first job, I was a part of a whole team, and then most of the time businesses used to have between 50 to 100 people kind of maintaining these monsters over there. So there's a lot of there was a lot of expense to basically use my resources for all of them. So all of this has been changed by cloud computing. So now the cloud computing has come about in early 2000s. And basically, what is cloud computing? Cloud computing basically has your computers where you can store data, and all of them are available on the web. So the cloud computing is to use the remote servers on the internet to compute store data. So what is the advantage of a cloud? It is a win-win situation. In fact, this is very important thing, because for businesses, they don't have to spend money on capital, on people to maintain their computers. They basically hire computers from companies like the Google Cloud Platform or the Amazon Web Services. And also this is become a very profitable business for Amazon as well. So for Amazon, as you know, actually has the Amazon Web Services, and also so this thing has become very profitable for Amazon to run these cloud computing. So this is a win-win situation. Business basically can save a lot of money, and these guys can make a lot of money as well. So what are the benefits of cloud computing? The benefits of cloud computing are eliminate the capital expenses. You don't have to spend a few $1,000,000 to buy these computers, but you can just rent these computers from these people. So you can save a lot of money here, and only pay for what you use. This is very cost effective, and performance is always better, because these people from where you are renting these computers, which is AWS or it could be GCP, they basically maintain the software for you. So there are no viruses coming out. You don't have to worry about other things. Everything remains updated because these kind of servers are being maintained by professionals. So they know exactly when to update your software, get the newer version of the operating system and remove any bugs and all those things. And the productivity improvement is there, because your IT team people who are working in the businesses now basically focus on their customers. So it's very, very important for the businesses to use these services, because they don't have to hire a lot of people, and those people who are already there, they are basically working with their customers at this time. So this is a win-win situation if you have a cloud computing. Another major advantage for a cloud computing, of course, is scalable architecture. You can, if your load increases, you can add more processors. So suppose you are basically have one processor on the on the cloud, and here you are paying certain amount of dollars. But suddenly your load increases. You can say, okay, I'm going to have two more servers. I will keep on increasing the thing. So your price, of course, goes up temporarily, but once a load is not there, then you can take these things off from your architecture of your computers. So now you will of course gonna pay less. So this is a scalable architecture which remains very flexible, and also you have better security of your data. Although we have seen some cases where even in the cloud there is going to be some kind of a security breach has occurred, but if you have a data on a cloud, it is usually more secure than if you have it on your own computer. If you maintain your own computer, then it's really not. Means somebody can really kind of break that thing in and steal your data. Although in a cloud the security is not 100%, but still it is pretty good. So your data basically remains secured also in the cloud computing. So in cloud, of course, makes the life simple for the businesses as well as for the vendors. Now, now if you have an analytics job, because that's what our focus is, that so how to do that thing? You should not run your analytics models on personal computers, because usually they are not fast enough. We need lot more CPU power, and we are going to make use of GPUs, and also we're going to make use of TPUs, which are available on cloud. Now, GPU stands for the graphics processing unit and tensor processing unit. So this is the way to go. And so, of course, answer for to run analytics models is that we have to go to the cloud to do these things. So now you can run your cloud thing in many different architecture. You can run this thing as infrastructure as a service, or platform as a service, or software as a service. Most of the time people use this thing. The complete hardware is being provided by you by the vendor. So this thing is being provided by AWS. You decide your own operating system. You decide all of your software, and you can run your applications on there. And the hardware is going to work flawlessly without any interruption, and that is the responsibility of the vendor. So most of the time people use these things. You can also use platform as a service, that even the operating system and all the other stuff can be decided by the vendor, or you can run software as a service also. As you know that Google also has a service called Sheets, which is just another way by which you can do the spreadsheets, and also Slides, which is just a replacement of the PowerPoint. So these two things are basically running in cloud, which is software as a service. So you have three different flavors in which you can use the cloud, which you can use the cloud computing. Okay, so who are the major vendors? Let's look into the major vendors here. So of course there are three of them. One is AWS, which is very famous and also very profitable. They make tons and tons and tons of money over there. And then the other one, of course, is the Google Cloud Platform, and the third one is Microsoft Azure. These are the major players. But if you look into the history of it now, since it is such a profitable business, cloud computing, now, of course, everybody wants to jump in. Everybody wants to make some money on it. But this is the kind of history of it. AWS started in 2006 roughly. Then, of course, came the Windows Azure. And in fact, GCP, which is the Google Cloud Platform, came around 2013 onwards. Now, after that, of course, everybody wants to kind of get, kind of basically jump into this area. Now, IBM also has it, AT&T has it, Verizon has it, and VMware, Cisco, Oracle, and so on and on. There are tons and tons of people out there. And again, this is not a complete list. There are a few more of them as well. But this shows that basically who are the major players in cloud. So cloud computing is kind of dominated basically by Amazon and also by Google. Amazon has a bigger share, but since we are using some Google products, it makes sense for analytics jobs to basically run on the Google Cloud platform. So now let's look into the tools which are available. What are the tools we are going to need to build my analytics job? So our goal is to do data analytics. So this is what our primary application is. So let's see what are the tools we're going to use. So on the hardware side, of course, we're going to use cloud. We can use GCP. This is Google. You can use AWS, Amazon Web Services, or Azure, or any other one. There are many other one as well. And these things now, they have availability of GPUs and TPUs, which are absolutely necessary to build your model. Then on the software side, we're going to use TensorFlow and Keras. These are the new pieces of software which is coming up from Google, and they allow us to build these models. So here is now TensorFlow that you can use. TensorFlow and Keras, they basically go hand in hand, and Keras is just an interface software to TensorFlow. So TensorFlow is a major piece of software, and recently now TensorFlow 2.0 has also been released early this year, which is now much better than TensorFlow 1.0, so this is the way to go. And TensorFlow 2.0 includes Keras as an interface. So another tool that you can use is which is called the Google's Collab. Collab is basically a platform on which you can write your Python code, and you route your Python code to basically build your model. So this thing was released 2 years back, and Collab now it is being used kind of a standard platform. So again, Collab also runs on a cloud. So that's the beauty of it. And so it's called Collab, or some people, earlier it was called Collaboratory, but Collaboratory seems like a pretty long word to say. So they made it into a short form and just call that thing as a Collab. So it is a Jupyter's notebook, an environment that requires no setup. Now, the beauty of Collab is that it's free. That is the best part of it. So you have a Collab here, and Collab is going to interface with GCP. Now the problem with the Collab, of course Collab is free, but this is not free. GCP is not free. This is a place where Google wants to make some money. But on the Collab side, of course, it is a free, and you have also free GPU access also, can support Python 2 and Python 3. And Collab is integrated with actually with Google Drive, where you can, so this acts like a kind of a hard drive for Collab. So why choose Collab? So now why choose GCP? Now the question really is, why should we use GCP? Because we plan to use TensorFlow, we plan to use Keras, we plan to use GPUs and TPUs. So these are all actually all Google's product. So that is the reason why you may choose GCP. And again, I'm not promoting GCP at this time, but you also have a choice of building these models also on Amazon Web Services as well. But Amazon Web Services does not. You can run TensorFlow on actually on Amazon as well, and you can also run Keras on also on AWS. But just because TensorFlow and Keras are the Google's product, it makes more sense to run these things on Google. Although the pricing of GCP usually is the lowest at this time compared to AWS. Sorry about that. I just have to turn off my phone. Okay, now why choose GCP? Okay, now if you plan to use the CNN, which is used for vision application, then you must use GPUs and TPUs. You cannot build this model on your own personal computer. So if you're going to have your CNN, and then of course you can build a CNN on GCP with the correct GPU. So this is another reason why we should use GCP to build our analytics models. So now let us look into GCP a little bit more closely. Now the type of the products do they have? In fact, GCP basically provides many products. So you can go to this place, kind of console.cloud.google.com, and you have an account. If you have a Gmail account, then you also have an account with GCP as well. And if you start using it first time, then they're also going to give you a credit for $300. So you will get a credit if you use GCP, and you can start building the models in GCP. Okay, so they also provide other products also, but since the focus of my talk today is only data analytics, I'm going to show you those features of GCP that can do data analytics. It means it can basically machine learning and also deep learning models which are available on GCP. But GCP also provides compute services. You can build your own computer there. You can also have a lot of storage and networking and many things also. But that is not the focus of the talk today. My talk is primarily on data analytics. So I'm going to focus on the type of features which are available on GCP. So these are the 5 different APIs which are available on GCP. First one is Vision. As we saw the application for Vision, this is really phenomenal. Like you can build application, and I'm going to show you also an example of Vision as well, and which can basically analyze your image. This is very important and really mind-boggling, the applications they have. You can also have natural language. You can even do the parsing of your natural language and find out the sentiments. You can also do the speech, from speech to text. This is really kind of basically amazing. You can feed in your audio and it will going to convert into text. So also speech basically is that you can convert audio into text. Then you can translate. This is something really amazing, and you should try it out. And basically it translates that. If you have some document in English, it will convert that thing into Spanish. Or it can also going to convert the same language, same English text into Japanese, and all or any other language. There are 100 languages that have been supported. So this is something really amazing. That this is the prime application for artificial intelligence. If you want to see AI, then use this application, because this is just mind-boggling. And these models are almost ready on GCP. You can use these things. And the last one, of course, is a video application, which can analyze your video and see what kind of images do you have in your video. So all of these things are GCP, which is called machine learning. Whether you call this thing as a machine learning or whether you call this thing as a deep learning, it is the same thing. But basically, here, these models are already available on the Google Cloud platform. And basically, you can start using these models. Okay, so this is the way basically it works. You can write your program in Collab, or you can write your in personal computer, or you can have a website from which you can use, or you can even run these kind of models on mobile phones. And these are the 5 APIs which are available at this time: Vision, natural language, speech, translate, and video. Now, in order for you to do the authentication, the owner of the account of GCP creates the service account key. So this is a key file, which is nothing but a JSON format, and this you have to generate yourself. The owner of this account will do it, and this key gets attached with your application. That is the only way GCP or Google Cloud Platform will know that this is a valid application to run. So this is the way the security system basically that is being built into GCP services. So now I'm going to show you an application. I've got another maybe 3-4 minutes left, so I'm going to show you an application. Now here is a picture of me sitting with my daughter, and this place in Italy, and this is Venice. As you know, in Venice we have gondola boats. So I'm going to analyze this image. So if I feed this image in, and here we go. First of all, the system is going to say this faces, and it says that, hey, there is a joy here. I've got a phase 1 and phase 2 also. I've not shown the complete thing. So it can recognize, hey, this is a joy in it. There is no sorrow. Sorrow is very unlikely, and there is no anger in it. I'm sitting with my daughter here, so of course there is no anger, no surprise, no exposed, no blurred, and there is also some headwear. And I guess my daughter is wearing something on the head, so that's the reason it's coming up. Then you can see what kind of objects you have. Look at this. All these bounding boxes are being created on these images, and it says that you have a glasses. Yes, I'm wearing a glasses. It is a person. It is outerwear. Outerwear means I'm wearing a jacket here, and this is a person, and also luggage and back. As you know, my daughter has a purse in her hand, and person is wearing a pants, and all these things have been recognized by the AI system. So again, here basically what I'm using is my GCP vision services. And now once we have the ability to identify the objects in an image, this type of vision API is also used in autonomous cars. This is the same thing. We saw some application for autonomous cars. So the same features or same technology that have been used to identify these objects in an image is used also in autonomous cars as well. Then also you can define your labels as well. So now the labels is eyes, even, smile, iris, tourism, sitting, vacation. See, it says that these are the type of the words that can be used to describe this image. And I've not shown you other features as well. It can also do OCR. It can convert text. It means that any kind of a text which is there in an image can be converted into real text. So this text in an image using the OCR technology, optical character recognition, can convert into real text. So I've not shown you the demo of that because I'm limited by only 35 minutes. Then you show some properties, and it can also recognize if this content is adult oriented or not. So those things will also flag up. Now let us look into speech to text services. I am again going to give you an example of speech to text. So now you can even go to speech to text. This is one of the API that is available. And here you can go to cloud.google.com/speech to text. You can even take 1 minute of audio of your own, and this is you can and kind of test it out and see if you can convert your speech into text as well. Okay, so here is the speech. I'm not going to play my audio here, but this is a human translation of my audio. I did this translation, and that is what my audio is. So I did this here, this translation, and look at the translation that is being given to me by the system. As you can see that this translation is very similar to the actual translation of my speech. So this is a mind-boggling application. Here you can take any audio and convert this audio into text. And this is really remarkable because it has a lot of different applications. Means if you want to type up something rather than trying to type something up, you can speak something up and it will get converted into text. And the text is very good. It's almost there are very few errors. So that if you want to generate some text, as you know, it is difficult to type, but it's very easy to talk it out. So here you can speak something up and convert that thing into text. Now the last part of this. Excuse me for a second. Okay, so that is the end of my talk. I'm sorry that there was some interruption occurs because of some technical problems. But anyway, let me now summarize. Almost it is 9:36 right now, so I'm just going to wrap this thing up. And so first of all, we saw the power of data analytics, that how data analytics has become so important. Now, data analytics, of course, not only deals with the data, but also deals with audio and video as well. And then, of course, we have this cloud computing, how to solve these problems. With cloud computing, we saw the tools for cloud computing, which are TensorFlow and Keras. We looked into GCP in a lot more detail, and we saw the AI applications, vision and speech. Another application which is worth looking into is a translate, which I have not shown you because of lack of time. That here you can take some English language stuff, you have some document written in English, and it can convert that thing into whichever language you want to. You can convert into Spanish or any of the hundreds of languages which are available. So this is the way to go, and that is the future of data analytics, that we can use artificial intelligence tools. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much. Now we'll open it for question and answers.
Dr. Ash, thank you very much. You may now stop sharing your presentation so that the audience can see both of us on the screen.
Okay. All right.
You can keep your camera on, just stop sharing your presentation.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
There you go, you got it, you got it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow, that was quite a journey on the evolution of cloud computing and all that's going on up to today. We had a number of questions that came in during your talk, so I'm going to relay those to you. And for the audience, if you are, as you still have time, go ahead and answer additional questions, and I'm going to be picking over those questions and letting Dr. Pahwa know about it. So the first one is that, of course, from the very beginning with cloud computing, a lot of the concern of cloud computing had to do with security and the risk associated with the how secure it is to have your security and data integrity on cloud systems. And we have gone a long way with that. And just like to have your perspectives on where we are today regarding security and integrity with cloud systems.
Great, it was a good question. So let me address this issue. Security is very important, and although cloud is not 100% secure, to start with, I should tell you that it is not, but it is very close to perfect security. Sure, we have seen a lot of examples where the data has been stolen from cloud as well, but usually the security that is being provided by the cloud is usually better than the security that we are going to enforce on our own computers. Our computers are also vulnerable. As long as your computer is connected to the internet, somebody can hack into it and steal your data. So compared to the security that is available on our own personal computer, clouds provides much better security, although it is still not 100% secure.
Very good, very good. That's a great insight. Now, Michael Levine had a question about if the trends in cloud computing. If you look at what has happened just in the last year alone, what do you see as the most significant trend in cloud computing in the past year?
The most significant improvement in the cloud computing is that now we have these artificial intelligence models available for us to use. These are pre-trained models. Earlier, like if you go back to 2016, 2017, we can still use cloud, but we are using cloud primarily for data, for creating a computer, for networking and all those things. But from the last 2 to 3 years, we have now installed lot of pre-trained models, so I can do my vision analysis, video analysis, audio analysis, and all those things on cloud. These models were not there before, and these models are getting better and better day by day, because more data you have to train these models, your models are going to become better. And the same kind of services are also being provided by AWS as well as GCP. But since we use TensorFlow and Keras to build these models, it makes more sense to use GCP, which is Google Cloud Platform, although the same thing will also going to work on AWS as well.
Very good. And you talked a bit about the evolution of AWS and then how the Google Cloud Platform has come into prominence maybe in the last year or two. Curious about AWS capabilities. Does AWS also provide artificial intelligence services like GCP does?
Yes, they do. So AWS is trying to now compete with GCP. These are the two primarily cloud services which are available that can do artificial intelligence. They have tons and tons of models over there. And you can also run run TensorFlow and Keras on AWS as well. So AWS and GCP are competing very heavily and with each other. So most of these models are available throughout the whole in both of these platforms. But my preference for GCP is that because we are using TensorFlow and also Keras to build these models, and these are the Google's properties. So usually these pieces of software usually work very well with GCP. And also we need the TPUs, and TPU stands for Tensor Processing Units. And this is a piece of hardware that has been developed by Google to basically solve the TensorFlow problems. And this thing is not available with AWS. So again, and these are very competitive products, GCP as well as AWS. And in some respect, GCP has an edge over AWS. But AWS is also a very, very good cloud service provider.
On the GCP portion of your presentation, you had something about the GCP Vision API and GCP Video API. What is the difference between the Vision and the Video APIs?
Great. So in a Vision, we can analyze a single image. We can, as I showed you the example of my own image, where I'm sitting in an image with my daughter in Venice, Italy. But so it can analyze different features of the image, that who are the objects in the image. Whereas the Video API basically deals with the complete video. Now, suppose if you have 1 hour of video, and let's assume that if you have only like a 5 seconds of a baseball going on in that complete 1 hour of video, it can identify that, hey, there is some baseball also in this video. Now, suppose if you have 5 hours of video and you need to analyze it, now someone has to watch 5 hours of video to analyze it, but the computers can read this entire video file and analyze it, what kind of objects you have in it. So videos basically work on the video segments, which are usually long, whereas the Vision API is primarily focused towards a single image.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see the cloud computing is on a stage today where you can have a single entrepreneur with access, with processing power and capabilities that maybe a decade ago were only available to multinational corporations and governments. And now you can have entrepreneurs really literally anywhere in the world who can access that type of capability. I'll ask one final question related to these pre-trained artificial intelligence models that you talked about. They're available on GCP. Are they set, or you can train them further to get better results?
So we already have some pre-trained models that can be used by anybody in public, and they usually gives up pretty good results. But you can make them even better. For example, if you want to train these models for medical images, you can now take this pre-trained model and now train this model further by adding now thousands and thousands of medical images. Now this model which will be created will become even better for your specialized images. So again, there are a lot of images out there, which is in the medical industry, also in the sports industry, and in a whole lot of other areas, security industry. There are tons and tons of videos out there. So these models can be trained further for your own specific applications. And for that, you have to use these services and write your own code and train them also further. So Google has provided some basic tools which are going to work for most of the images, most of the audio, most of the video, but these models can be made even better with your own videos, own images.
Dr. Ash, thank you so much for your time here with us today. It's not every day that we have an opportunity to have not only a world-class educator, but also an entrepreneur who shares this level of practical knowledge with all of us. So thank you very much for being with us today.
Sure, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we are concluding the presentations for today, and tomorrow we have an exciting day lined up for us. Today we had wonderful presentations from experts in the field, from educators and entrepreneurs like Dr. Ash, and tomorrow we'll have another set of amazing presentations. We'll start the day at the same time as we started today with Wesley Rhodes, from the VP of Research and Development and Technology Transformation from Kroger, and he's going to talk to us about the transformation to intelligent enterprise. Going to focus on cultural aspects, business transformation aspects, and digital transformation aspects of creating a true intelligent enterprise. That will be followed by Mark Chmura, who is the Director of Quality and Transformation at Morningstar, and he'll give us the financial services perspective on and the title of his presentation is Control Your Robots, Designing an Effective RPA Governance Program. So we're going to talk about governance. There are a few questions today related to SOX and financial processes. You do not want to miss the session that's going to focus on that topic with, again, practical applications in one of the industry leaders. We will have then Brendan Knott, who is a Senior Vice President at UiPath, giving us a talk on a robot for every person, and a bit of the history of the industry and where we are today and where we're heading, and a real holistic approach to digital transformation that brings humans and technology together seamlessly. You do not want to miss that session. And we're going to conclude tomorrow with a fantastic speaker. Riaz Attar is the Vice President for Enterprise Project Management and Strategic Initiatives at Caesars Entertainment. So he's going to be talking to us directly from Las Vegas, and where we're going to learn about how robots are being used in casinos and in the entertainment industry. And Riaz is a phenomenal speaker. He has contributed over $1 billion in EBITDA on all the improvement and innovation projects that he has led for a number of large organizations. So exciting day tomorrow. I appreciate every one of you spending the time with us today. Great sessions today. We're going to continue the conversation on LinkedIn. So if you look at the link that I provided during our session, you can ask questions there. You can make comments on there. I received some requests to connecting directly with me. That's my name on LinkedIn, Jose Perez. I am over my 30,000 connection limit, but if you try to connect with me, or if you follow me, I'll follow you back, and then you should be able to establish a connection that way. But thank you so much for everyone who participated today. As you close the session, again, there will be a pop-up box that will give you a survey that you can provide feedback on today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a good day.